Hello, everybody. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Talk to Us, please. This is the Not So Late Night talk show from Vermont Comedy Club, and we are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
We've got a great show for you, featuring comedian Marina Franklin, Charles McPhee, Tyler Denton, musical guests Ocho Cuerdas, and more.
So let's do it, friends. Let's go ahead and start the show. Hey, yo. Here we are. Oh my gosh.
Friday evening to you all.
Happy Juneteenth. Happy Friday. Happy day. Happy everything.
Happy day.
This is Talk to Us, please. Nathan and I started this show because we are lonely.
We like talking to people in this age of social distancing, and here we are. We've got a great lineup of wonderful guests who've agreed to talk to us. And we're chilling on a Friday night. Actually, we're sweltering.
We are sweltering.
As professional as this operation may look to you, we are still in our unair conditioned guest room.
Nope, I'm wearing bike shorts. It's here up. It's just what they were talking about. So here's what we like. We like an active chat.
Sure.
We've got a chat aggregator going on, so we can see everything that people post. It doesn't matter if you're watching on Facebook or Twitch or YouTube. We can see your chat, and we love to see it. So please stay engaged with us. I see Mark Paulson is on, and he knows I like to ask what people are drinking. And Mark says bourbon on ice, just like Natalie. Well, guess what, Mark? I'm drinking a dark and stormy tonight, so tricked ya. Usually it's just bourbon.
That was a little combative. You know what, Mark? You don't know me.
You don't know me. Okay. Christina says, we miss Vermont Comedy Club. Thank you for staying connected. You are welcome, and thank you for remembering that we exist. Hi, Rob Hale. And hi, Sarah. We love it. Okay, so something else to bring up about the show tonight. All this week, we are raising money for Black Lives Matter of Greater Burlington. We got $1,000 match from an anonymous donor. Well, we have already hit $1,000. We're actually at $1,300 right now. And so that really means $2,300. But I just want to go ahead and get that up to $3,000 by the end of the weekend. You know, we have tonight, we have tomorrow. So if you're feeling generous, aka if you have money, because some people don't, we know that it's a fucking pandemic still. But if you do have a job and have money, please donate. Our Venmo is at Vermont Comedy Club, and you can donate on our website as well. Nathan, anything else you want to add before we start?
Is there anything I should add? I would love to say that Rob Hale is drinking a Republic Pilsner from First Republic Brewing, and blast from the past, Ray Wayman is in the chat saying, hi, friends.
Raymond Wayman.
Raymond Wayman.
Wow.
Former Vermont comedian.
Well, technically, he always lived in the state of New York, upstate New York, across the lake.
But it's always great to see people we haven't seen in a while in the chat. Tracy Dolan says, that's crazy generous. Love Vermont comedy scene and fans. Us too. It's nice to keep the Vermont comedy scene kind of like loosely together as we're all apart.
We try. We try. You know, we have one other thing. We tell some jokes. We tell a lot of jokes.
We do.
And some of them are good and some of them are not.
Well, we have to recap what's gone on in the world in a way that we might be able to make you all laugh.
Hopefully. It's really depressing out there. I don't know if you've seen it.
And there's nothing sadder than telling a bunch of dark jokes to ourselves with you laughing on the other end and us not being able to hear it. So we've got a soundboard here that we're going to use liberally to make ourselves feel better every time we think something should have gotten a reaction.
And sometimes it might be a... It could be anything. You know, that's my favorite.
Let it be that.
All right.
So we're gonna get into it. Shall we?
Well, I think it's time for News of the week.
That's my one-handed news theme, everybody. All right, let's kick it off here. In the news this week, Joe Biden will be accepting the Democratic nomination in Milwaukee, home of Miller Brewing Company, the champagne of beers, which is appropriate because Biden is truly the Miller beer of candidates, an underwhelming product that only looks like something fancy by comparison. Cheers! We're the champagne of talk shows.
That is 100% true. The state of California has now made wearing masks in public mandatory for all people, which was a huge relief to everyone in Hollywood who has botched their own lip injections over the last 3 months.
It's tough to do by yourself. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton has a book coming out this summer. It's entitled, I'm a Complicit Monster, Enabling a White House Sociopath and Then Turning That Experience into a Lucrative Book Deal. Please find your father's copy and burn it to ash.
Speaking of which, Sunday is Father's Day. And if you're wondering if there's something special that you can make for him this year, how about you make him disappointed? I do it all the time. Start by sending your father the Wikipedia entry for the Tulsa Race Massacre. That's only for white dads, obviously. Yeah. For every dad, you could just say, I'm going into comedy.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta warns that the rally Trump is holding tomorrow in Tulsa, Oklahoma could become a super spreader for COVID-19. When Trump heard this, he responded, yes, they call me a super spreader, or as I like to call it, grabbing him by the pussy.
Trump is kind of pulling an Oprah at this rally. It's going to be like, you get COVID, everybody gets COVID.
He says the rally will be good for business. What he doesn't say is he's talking about the Oklahoma funeral business. Boom!
Oh, I really wish that we had like a funeral dirge right there that we could play.
That's probably on there.
I don't know. All right. This week, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that discriminating against people in the workplace based on sexuality is unconstitutional. So no matter what we find out about Lindsey Graham cavorting with male escorts, he can't be fired. He has to be voted out of office. So please, for the love of God, vote him out of office. Again, also in Supreme Court news, the judicial branch upheld DACA this week with a 5-4 vote. Not to be outdone, the Wicked Witch of the West Wing, Betsy DeVos, is prohibiting DACA recipients from receiving benefits from the CARES Act. You know, the CARES Act, which to her stands for Can't Allow Refugees and Even Share.
She's fast becoming a lousy radio show.
It's so really bad. We just need a fart sound.
Oh, it's there.
There it is.
Now it's a classy show.
Now it's classy.
After the two landmark Supreme Court cases, Trump actually tweeted, do you get the impression the Supreme Court doesn't like me? Now, this was not due to the losses in the court. It was because Ruth Bader Ginsburg circled just friends on the Noti Pastor asking, do you like me? It's true. They're friends. That's why she voted for that pipeline.
Oh, no. It was announced today that one of 3 Louisville police officers who shot Breonna Taylor in her own home is being fired. Just fired. That's it. I feel like the authorities in Kentucky have never made a person come in their entire lives. Like, because we right now collectively are the people who are screaming exactly what we want them to do. And they're the ones who are like, well, what if I tickle the inside of your knee? And it's like, stop fucking tickling the inside of my knee and just arrest and charge all 3 of those fucking people so the country can come together. Come together, literally.
There we go. Yep. Well done. Aunt Jemima syrup has been discontinued after 131 years due to the racist depiction of the character. Vermonters everywhere cheered after learning that racism and bullshit fake syrup have been vanquished.
Fake syrup is disgusting. Facebook finally grew some balls this week and removed one of Trump's campaign ads that used a Nazi symbol for violating their organized hate policy. However, Facebook reassured its users, we're still committed to your First Amendment rights to share casual hate. hate adjacent rhetoric, and downright evil lies. We're Facebook.
Thumbs up. Today is Juneteenth, otherwise known as the day your school thought wasn't important for you to know about. I literally remember learning about Lee Iacocca, the CEO of Chrysler, in one of my high school classes.
Juneteenth, for those of you who have been living under a rock and don't know, is the date that 2 years after Lincoln freed enslaved people, that the last of enslaved people finally learned they were free. Can you imagine a time where Texas was only 2 years behind the rest of the United States?
Yeah, those were the days.
Those were the days.
There's more. There's more.
Oh, there is more. You're right. By the way, numerous major companies this year made today a paid holiday, which is wonderful. So workers can stay home. Workers staying home, what they should be allowed to do anyway, because we're in the middle of a fucking pandemic. It's capitalism.
Some of these are just sermons.
It's
more sermon than
I'm
joke.
just always a little ranty. I think that's what it is.
Also, as you know, Trump had originally scheduled a rally in Tulsa for today, and then he had to move it due to public outcry. And then he bragged, "I made Juneteenth famous." In other historical news, Hitler was huge for Hanukkah ratings.
Tattoo parlors across the country are offering to cover up hate tattoos for free. Unfortunately, you still have to pay to cover up tattoos that you hate. I've got a tramp stamp that says penis in Chinese symbols, but they told me that's not a hate crime.
And finally tonight, Amy Klobuchar dropped out of contention to be Joe Biden's running mate, to which Biden responded, "Amy who?" Klobuchar said Biden should choose a woman of color, and I couldn't agree more. In fact, I think the job of vice president would be a pretty nice consolation prize to Anita Hill for everything Biden did to her in 1991. Bonus points if he dies and leaves her the presidency. And that's the news.
Wow.
Hey.
Heyo.
Thank you for listening to our jokes. Thank you for being active in the chat here. This is great.
Classy with a capital K. I like it.
I don't know if I'd be using capital Ks for anything right about now.
No, definitely not. Definitely
and
not.
Ray says every time I pee in the wind, it lands in Vermont. So he's close enough to Vermont. I suppose if that's your metric for living in Vermont, that's great.
Well, I think it's time for our first guest.
Our
first special guest.
Our first special guest. Our special guest today, before we bring her on, we're going to play a little clip from her upcoming special, which, by the way, dropped on the CW this week and is absolutely crushing it. So take it away, Sam, and show us that clip.
I just feel like if our president, mediocre. That's a mediocre, and I gotta be excellent. That I'm gonna be subpar, average at best. Like I followed a white comedian talking about horses the other day. It was great material. It was funny. It was great material about horses. I was so jealous. Because I was like, I know I can't get away with that. Like, I was up here talking about horses for like an hour. You guys would be like, this bitch know what's going on? Black people can't take a nap without getting arrested. And this bitch talking about horses? I really want to talk about horses, though. I want to be that comedian where you're like, oh, there she goes. There goes that equestrian bitch right there. How was she? She was okay.
Oh my gosh. So funny. So funny.
So funny. I love her.
We love Marina. Honestly, and we got so many, when we started saying that she was going to be on the show tonight, we got so many people being like, She was one of the funniest people we've seen at the club in all the years that you've been open. And we're so happy to have her here. So please welcome Marina Franklin. Yay! Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Um,
I hope I don't freeze.
I hope so too.
You mean like
but
technology-wise or emotionally? It's great to see you. You're one of our favorite people.
You
and
are both my favorite people. I love your club. I love Vermont. I love everything. So.
Well,
you're sweet.
Someday we'll be open again and you can come back. Clubs are opening again. Are you seeing this?
I try not to see it, but yeah, I'm aware that it's been happening. I believe in the South, they were opened a month ago. I was even asked if I wanted to go out there and perform. I think that was in April, maybe May. And I was like, I don't know. I've been paying attention. So no.
Yeah. It's
Yikes.
I mean, I certainly as a business owner, I understand it's a strain to be closed for, going on 4 months now, but like, is it worth killing people? No, I don't think it is.
I think America's problem is America.
Yes.
It's not the coronavirus, it's the people.
Yeah. We just gave it was like we gave up.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's real simple. The virus is still out there.
Yeah, and it is definitely, it feels like, okay, we had like 4 months worth of patience. And then it became like, and I guess, I mean, I don't want to speak for all people because I know that there are like, I don't know if it's a majority, but there are a lot of people out there who are still taking it seriously and still, still socially distancing whenever possible. Yeah. And then, but there's this like whole percentage that we're watching right now, just like, fuck it, I can't deal with that anymore. I'm going outside. I'm going to restaurants. It's like, I don't understand it.
It's about endurance. It's one thing I realized is I'm trying not to judge people but then I do.
That's so big of you. That's good.
It's really hard because I realize it's kind of like one of those things, you either have endurance for this or you don't. And there are people who have different situations, which makes it to be patient with it. So I do understand, like in the beginning of this, you said stay home, right? And then you realize not everyone has a safe home. So you start to change the dialogue. So now we're in a different phase of, this is not over. And you want to tell people there's a second wave coming, but then you realize that some people are really struggling, like really broke right now. And they don't have, it is like some people do go out because they're risking their lives because they have to work.
Right.
So
and
it's very complicated.
Then it's like, then you're just pissed off at the system for making those people go back to work with like no health insurance or they're just out there taking the risk because the system doesn't support them at all. Yeah, it's frustrating.
No, it doesn't. I mean, we had Lindsay Bolin, I think that's how I say her last name.
Yeah,
on our podcast on Friends Like Us this week. It's coming out. I'm trying to rush it because we usually come out on Wednesday. The election is before that. So it's a great episode where she talks about this. And she talks about, taking care of like your parents during this time, which everyone has had to, there's no paid leave for taking care of your parents. That's something I've never heard a politician even talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
And then there's everything else.
Well, Friends Like Us.
Oh, did I skip the questionnaire?
Friends Like Us, great podcast. What a podcast.
Wow.
I was just listening to I'm a week behind. I was listening to the episode with Michelle. And it's just such a fun podcast to just listen to y'all talking to each other. Like what is it that like keeps you going doing this podcast, especially as like now it's a pandemic, you can't get together and be in a studio. Like, I guess how has that changed, like how you're producing the podcast, and what has kept you going throughout this?
Well, it's just been since I've been doing the podcast for 5 years, so doing it is not the difficult part, it's the technical aspect of it, like we're doing Zoom right now, so you have to find like the right platforms. I use Squadcast, which is one that a lot of podcasters, when they're at meetings and conferences, they've been bringing up Squadcast a lot because they have the best audio format. And I am a bit of a nerd. That's why I have on this gamer headset. Looks like I'm about to fly a plane. I know.
Yeah, yes.
I love it.
Looks like I
Yes.
took a break from landing and was like, let me do the Zoom meeting. But it's really that, I do like the technical aspect of it. And so I kind of geek out with that part, and I like to get the best audio quality, and it works. And then I can also now invite people who live elsewhere. I used to always, it's always like who's ever in New York, or because I didn't have the ability to have phone-in guests, and I really wanted it to be in studio where we all have this relationship. But now I can invite people like I had David Allen Greer on the podcast, and I've
Amazing.
worked with David Allen Greer, in the past. And when I first started the podcast, before anyone was really of color was doing, I mean, Black women specifically was doing, yes, I am the Harriet Tubman of podcasts. I had to stop myself before I got too real. I had to say that. I had to say that to stop. I was like, listen,
Put you on the goddamn 20.
I was listening to myself. I was like, what am I doing? But I remember we did a show at the Village Vanguard together, and I said, I just started a podcast and he's like, I'd love to do it. But he was not here. He was in LA. So he's like, I was like, oh, how am I going to get, so now I can finally get him on.
Yeah.
That's
great.
awesome.
Fun.
By
So
Coastal.
great episode.
Cool.
It feels like that. That's one of the things that I have liked about doing this show too, is like we get to see people that normally we would only get to see once every
2 years.
2 years coming through the club. But we've been able to talk to people all over the place no matter what, which is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so excited when you posted that your special is top 5 in ratings this week.
Yeah, I had no idea. My sister sent it to me. These are things like I realized I really need a PR person, because my sister, she's like, bitch, your thing is on top 5. I was like, it is. And then she sent me a screenshot, and I was like, I would have never have known. And she was like, she's like a publicist, but she's expensive. So I was like, Leah, I'm your sister. Can you just constantly do this for free? Because I would never have known. And then seeing that, I was blown away by it, because I taped that special in 2018. And, you go through this whole process of who's going to buy it. And it was kind of heartbreaking that no one did. And then it took a while. Amazon Prime, I had it on Amazon Prime, I had it on Apple TV, but that's still, that's not the same as you gotta really push, or you have to be a known name to get it out. And as much as you do know me, I'm not that known. So I was just like waiting. And then I got this text, during the pandemic, while I'm in quarantine, like, hey, CW is going to feature your special. And it just was like, it took a pandemic.
The whole world had to stop.
You know what, though? It's something that is so frustrating to me. I mean, so frustrating to everyone, and especially to comedians. I'm sure is that like there are so many comics that we love who are so funny, way funnier than many people who have like huge recognizable names, who don't get the representation that they deserve. And so it's awesome to see that your special is now out there, and that as soon as it went out there, obviously people are like, this is great, this is amazing, because it's top 5. So it's like finally you're getting like what you've earned it. You're an amazing comic. you know
You'd start to wonder if you are. That's the it's a business. And then you you go through a lot of doubt when you don't get picked by the business, and you start to wonder if it's you. You start to wonder if you're not working hard. You have all these questions, and then you try to not be that person that's bitter. You try to always have a positive attitude. And it is hard. I'm not going to say it's not hard. It is very hard because you want to be supportive of other people too. You don't want to take away whatever they're achieving. You don't want to do that. But when you've been at it, I've been at it for over 20 years more. And, the last thing that was seen sort of was Women Who Kill. And for years, people were like, we don't understand. Like Amy, we see, Nikki, we see, Rachel Feinstein, we see. Why don't we see Marina Franklin? So for years, I was like, I don't know if I have the wrong managers. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And then someone said to me, just do your special. Do it. Don't wait anymore for them to say, we're going to give this to you. So then I just said, okay. Comedy Dynamics approached me. They said, we want to do your special. I said, okay, I guess I should do this. And then Keith Robinson, who's like my friend slash enemy, he was like, I mentioned him in the special. He was like, if you don't do the special, dummy. So I was like, okay. So I worked hard, did the special, and then I was just putting everything I could into it. I was trying to mix it because it's been years, and a lot of my material was kind of scattered throughout. So I was trying to make sure I put everything that a lot of people don't know. Like that's the hard part of being a comic. Is like your friends and the people who know you, your peers, they know you that material, but they don't realize there's a big world out there that really has no idea who you are. And it was Dave Chappelle that actually called me up while I was working on the special, and he's like, it's Dave Chappelle. And I was like, I know. And he was like, just do what you've been doing. You could do new stuff, but do what you've been doing. He goes, that's just my advice. I could be wrong. I was like, I don't think you're wrong. And so so I mixed it. I mixed a lot of newer stuff, and then a lot of like just hits that were in there, and some hits that just aren't in there, because I can't help it. I have to do new. So it was
Well,
nice to have a chance. Thank you.
Yeah, it came out great and it looks great. And yeah, I'm so happy that it's finally sort of found a home. How can people watch it now?
People can watch it on Amazon Prime still. It's always on Amazon Prime as Single Black Female, and Apple TV. And they can also go to my website, marinafranklin.com, for other ways to see it. Because I don't, there's so many other ways to see it that I didn't even know was out there.
Yeah.
What way can they see it that you would make the most money?
That is such a great question.
Just drop money in your Venmo or something.
Yeah, in my Venmo. But that is the question of a lifetime.
I know. Well, I mean, so many of these places don't. I mean, we know they don't pay artists very much.
Yes. So
Well, I'm glad I'm glad you're still killing it, and
I feel like
I'm looking forward to getting back into live performance again.
I'm thinking of moving to Vermont. I need to get out of New York.
I would love that so much. I would love that so much.
People always ask me, Marina, where would you move to? And I always say Vermont. And they go, wait, how would you do that though? I was like, I don't know, but that's my dream.
Well, we're sitting, can't see it now, but we're sitting in our guest room. So there's room here.
You
have to move this green screen.
What a guest room. I know. You got a sky in your guest room. That's awesome.
Yeah, church. Before we let you go, because it's so fun to talk to you that we've already kept you longer than we said we would. But before we let you go, what is one thing, this is something that we like to ask people, what is one thing that you have been doing to take care of yourself or to keep yourself happy during all of the shitstorm that is happening
other than
in the world?
Landing planes in your free time.
Right.
Yeah, other than landing planes, I have been dancing, and I post a video. I just posted one. I was trying to rush to do it before this, because I usually take a long time editing it, but I dance every Friday, and I post it on my Instagram, and I just say, what day is it? Because there was a time when we didn't know what day it was. And I was like, by the way, it's Friday, which is a party day. And then I danced for like 2 minutes and posted it. And it was scary at first. I would block out the way I looked, but now it looks, people like it, I guess. I hope.
great.
I don't know.
Fun.
Dance like no one's watching because they aren't.
And because everyone is watching.
I
Thank
know.
you so much for coming
good.
on. It was so good to see you.
I'm
and
doing
we'll
prayer
hopefully
hands.
see you.
Thank you. I love you
Bye,
guys.
Marina.
Bye.
Oh, Marina
Oh,
Franklin,
so great.
everyone.
Yay.
Yay. I love that. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing this, but I've had this impulse more and more to dance just like in public, especially when I'm walking the dog. I'll be on the bike path totally by myself and I'll just start to want to dance. And I talk to myself a lot more.
I mean, we've thrown away every social moray over the last 4 months, right? So you're in public and you're like have an urge to do something. You no longer have that part of your brain that says, maybe you shouldn't do that. That looks crazy, because you're just, who cares? We're all going crazy a little bit.
A little bit.
Well, folks,
let's check in with the chat. What's going on? Shelly.
Yeah,
put on a fucking mask. That's right, Shelly.
Yeah.
We love it.
Shelly thinks Marina's sister should give her a discount. I agree.
Yes. Oh, it looks like we got a Venmo donation. Let's check that out.
Great.
If you write something in your Venmo donation, maybe we'll read it out loud.
You'll be famous. Talk to us, please, famous.
Wowie zowie.
Nice.
We got a donation and it says, hope to see you in person soon when prudent. Thank you so much.
Will we be reopening a comedy club this weekend? No,
absolutely not.
Some things are reopening this weekend. That's
no,
some places have to.
No judgment.
No judgment. But when you have a business that jams 160 people elbow to elbow, it's not really prudent or possible. But we are looking forward to getting back to it eventually. Could you host drive-in comedy shows? Cynthia wants to know. Yeah, that's a thing we're looking at.
Yeah, we've talked about doing outdoor shows in a number of different ways / places.
It's one of those things where you keep having to tell yourself, like, people are starved for live entertainment, and so they would come to something that's like crazy like that, where you're like 10 feet apart in cars and everything. But in terms of like comedy, the joke is about comedy that it always sucks outside.
Outdoor comedy.
It's always terrible.
We've done stand-up, we've done improv outside, because before we had a club, we were doing shows just like all over, and any show that was outside was horrible because the laughter just goes like up and evaporates, and usually it's like so light outside. Like,
funny enough, the term we always use when we're talking about comedy is comedy has to be contagious. Like, that's like literally the word we use.
Laughter.
So we're not against the idea of an outdoor
maybe we'll
comedy
change that after this. Maybe that's
it's contagious. We
don't want anything to be contagious ever again.
No, we never want to use that word again.
So I think it's time for another special guest.
I think it is. It's time for our second special guest.
This one, we are going to show you another clip, and this is a sketch. This person has been putting out sketches on their Instagram, Twitter, wherever you find them. So check out this sketch.
Yo.
Hi. I was just calling to check on you with everything going on.
Oh, thanks. Since Grandpa's passing, it's been rough.
Grandpa? No. I mean, with everything that's going on with today's climate,
I mean, yeah, it's been pretty shitty.
Okay, well, if there was anything I can do.
Okay. Yo.
My brother. I'm just checking in on you, seeing how you're doing.
Is this about my grandpa?
Your grandpa?
Say his name!
Granddad!
Hi there. If there's anything that I can do in your time of need.
Listen, I appreciate the gesture, I do, but you really don't have to treat black people like... Actually... Hello? Oh, what up, nigga?
Yo, what up? Why don't you come on through, man? I got a new PS4.
They sent you one too?
You know it. Yeah, dog.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Oh,
funny stuff.
Yeah.
We're doing other things over here. Honestly,
you riff and I'll do
here's
this.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring him in. Such a funny guy, and he's performed at the club before. You may have seen him. He actually opened for or featured for Marina Franklin. Please welcome Charles McBee.
Charles.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi
How are you?
How are you?
How are you?
Oh, I feel all the feels. I just feel like I can just unload right now and we can just like have a moment. You know what I mean? No, it's good. I'm good. Everything is good. We're just quarantining and chilling, trying to stay sane and creative.
Yeah. Are you in Brooklyn right now? Where are you?
In Brooklyn, best I do or die.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is this art behind you?
So
What's happening here?
this is what I call Pier 1 chic. It's these three I just got offline somewhere, but this is one of my favorite art. It's called iCanvas. One of my favorite places to get art. So that's fresh prints in like kind of a silhouette. And I just ordered a new one. It's Barack Obama playing basketball. It should be here in a week, and I'm very excited.
Amazing.
I need color. The thing is, like, I hate the idea of painting a wall because then if I leave, I have to repaint it or whatever. And so I like just stuff that pops in color that I can put on white walls so I'm not banging my head against the wall going crazy.
For sure. Yeah, Natalie picked up like giant colorful artwork for $20 that was
Facebook Marketplace, baby, but like real paintings.
Like real art. I was like, it's cool.
It's taking everything in my being not to run and grab them off the wall right now to show them. They're huge. It's like
it's great. It's the best. It's great.
That's an understandable instinct when dark times call for bright colors, I think.
Oh, 100%. Even when you're not in a pandemic, just living in New York, living in a shoebox, paying $100 million a month to live in a shoebox, sometimes with 30 other people, you need to be able to just look up and have something just calm your mind and kind of give you a little bit of boost to like, all right, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Totally. Yeah.
Amazing. You've been putting out, it seems like so many videos recently. Is this just since quarantine started that you're like, okay, I'm kind of trapped, I'm going to do this thing?
Yeah.
I mean, you're putting out like multiple videos a week, it seems like.
It's weird. It's become a little bit of an addiction for me. It's kind of like, they say you do things a certain amount of times and it becomes a habit. I think I've hit that number now where it's like I wake up, because before, so long story short, when quarantine started, I was quarantining with a quarantine bae. And so I had a girlfriend, but we broke up mid-quarantine. So like mid-quarantine was the first time I had actually realized that it was like a pandemic going on, because like you had someone there and it was a honeymoon type of thing. So it was like, oh, we'll just kind of quarantine together. And then I was like, wait, people are dying? What's happening? I was just alone with my thoughts. And so I had to like start to figure out how I was going to kind of get through the day, since I couldn't go out, I couldn't perform, I couldn't see friends, I couldn't distract myself. It's like, well, what am I going to do to kind of just feel productive and feel creative and feel my time? And I started doing these little videos. And the cool thing is, because it's quarantine, people forgive a lot of things and they allow a lot of things because they know you're stuck in your apartment. So that's kind of the charm of the videos, being like, oh, I'm on my phone and I'm pretending that I'm at the White House or whatever the case. So with that, so I just started making one and I made another one. And then the crazy thing is, people started hitting me up and going, thank you. They were like, oh my God, this is the first time I laughed in 2 weeks or whatever. And so that made me feel really good. And then when the protests and the riots and all that stuff started happening, because pandemic got boring, so we needed to spice things up a little bit.
Yeah.
When that started happening, then I felt even more of an urge to put things out, because it really had something to say and something to talk about. But I didn't want to beat people over the head with a message. Just do it in the way that I felt comfortable. So then it was like, all right, so here's another reason to put out videos. So there we have it.
Well, it's amazing. What's the best way for people to find your content? Do you like Instagram, Twitter? Where would you want them to go? I'm just
pushing people towards Instagram. That seems to be, because that's kind of my focus, is Instagram. I'm on the TikToks as well. So if they want to go to the TikToks, they can do that as well. But Instagram, I'm trying to get those followers up so they can go to my Instagram at Charles McBee and see all the content.
Nice.
Oh man, TikTok.
You're gonna sound like an old lady no matter
well,
what you
no,
say.
I feel like
I'm
like
with
we
you.
might be the same age, you and I, and we'll not say how old Nathan is. Old,
We're all older than we look.
I feel like I'm too old to do TikTok.
Same. It wasn't until this quarantine thing where I was like, well, I'll go on it just to see what other people are doing, just to see what the big deal is. And when I tell you, I got sucked into a black hole of TikTok. Holy shit. It is fun. And I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm doing it. Here's the thing. I wasn't expecting anything. I was like, I'm not even going to tell. I don't share the videos. I dare not tell my friends and family that I'm on TikTok. This was my secret way. It was just my own little safe space.
Your covers over your head, like.
Oh yeah. I was so ashamed at first, but I was like, it was like my own little like fetish, right? I was just on TikTok making these videos, and who'd have thunk it? I went viral like 3 times with some of these videos. It's crazy. In like 2 weeks, I hit over like 20,000 followers or something. I've never had more than. You go to my Instagram, it's like I just hit like a little over 3,000. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I found my audience. I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, either that or you just found a place with no rules.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the Wild West over there. It's insane. It's crazy town.
Wow.
Amazing.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the other side of this.
Yes, when the world starts spinning again. I look forward to seeing you guys again.
Me
Bye,
too.
Charles.
Thanks so much,
See ya. Oh, Charles McBee. So freaking funny. So be sure go to his Instagram, Charles McBee, just like it sounds. All right. Are you ready?
What am I ready for?
Our next
getting ready
segment. I think, oh no, I don't know what's happening, but I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. This is what we were talking about, wanting to dance, but then it's like, oh no, don't do that.
Technically in public, so.
I think it's time for Q-tips with Brian.
Holy crap.
Q-tips with Brian.
Wow.
Right?
Those of you who know this show know that we have a friend who came on the very first show to give Q-tips, quarantine tips, and something happened where he got it in his head that he was being persecuted somehow and was on the run, and he's been on the run ever since, and every week we check in with him. We're not really sure what we're going to get.
Last week he was in a statue that got pushed to the bottom of a river.
Right. I believe it was a Christopher Columbus statue.
We don't know where he is this week, but we're gonna find out.
So
Brian,
why don't we bring on Brian and see what he's got for us this week?
Hey, Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Wow.
How's it going? How's it going?
Wow.
Brian, what?
Literally every time we've seen you over the last 6 weeks, you've been under covers or hiding from the law in a dark closet or in a bathtub, and now you look like you're having the time of your life.
This is like a VIP. Where are you?
So as you know, I was stuck inside of a Christopher Columbus statue, and I ended up drowning in the James River in Richmond, Virginia. So,
you drowned.
Yeah, at the end of the last episode, I kind of like. I went back and watched, and I really did just go out. I was gone. I don't even remember.
Yeah. The last thing we heard from you was like you started to lose consciousness, and then your video cut out. So we've been really worried about you.
Yeah. So like I woke up on the shores of Cape Cod, and so now I'm just staying at the lake house with my wife, and we're just grilling up right now.
Wait, what?
Did you say what?
Brian, last week you weren't married, to my knowledge.
Oh shit! I forgot to talk about that. I woke up on the shore, and this lady was yelling to me because like it was technically her property, and we really just hit it off. And I think it was on Wednesday we got married, and now it's like the rest is history. But right now I'm grilling up for us. You got some tomatoes, you got potatoes, you've got peaches. We've got nectarines on here, dude. And I'd love to say that we're vegan, but right now I've got some barbecue chicken about to go on. I'm sorry.
Wow. So
I got to be honest, it makes me very happy that you've gone from, like drowning underwater to what looks like very happily married,
Oh, don't worry. I drowned yesterday because we went tubing and water skiing and stuff, and I got pretty knocked out pretty hard. But yeah,
maybe you should stay out of the water, Brian.
No, you know what they say: when the water is warm, you got to get in there.
Is that what they say? I think that usually when the water is warm, it means someone peed in it.
Well, I guess, I mean, I don't want to put any pressure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, babe.
I really hope the ring is hiding in one of these chicken pieces because you still haven't gotten that for me yet. And I just...
What's happening?
But Brian. What
Apparently she thinks it's gonna be a ring inside of one of these freaking chickens, and now I feel awkward because there is.
Oh, so you've gotten married, but you haven't given her a ring of any kind, and she's asking for
No, I have not given her a ring, and we are married.
Okay.
I just realized that. Thank you for pointing that out.
I think.
But Brian, are you talking with a Southern accent?
Are you? Is his family Southern?
Dude, she gets mad if I don't talk like I'm Southern. Okay, so like I have to act like that, like when I'm grilling and stuff. Because right now she's over there.
It's a weird relationship. Okay. I hate to ask because I'm not, no pressure or anything, but usually you give some kind of tips to our listeners about quarantine. Do you have any tips this week on how they can survive quarantine?
Actually, this week's a little different because like governors have opened everything up. People don't have to wear masks anymore. There's restaurants open. And I would just say like start checking to see what's happening in your state and just go have some fun. Summer's about to start, and I would say get out there because last night a bar in our town opened up, and it was so much fun to finally just get back out there, hit the dance floor, meet some new people.
Okay, that sounds like a
well, you know what,
idea.
Brian? I think we're going to let you go because that's not the message that we want to be sending out to the people who are watching our show. But I'm glad to see that you're happy.
Yeah, definitely put a ring on it, though.
Yeah, I'll definitely consider that, and I don't agree with what you just said, but I'll definitely be back next week if you really want me to like come up with tips or something. But I think at this point, I'd say just enjoy yourself. It's summer, and I'll be totally fine.
Well, we'll see you next week, and I hope you're
yeah.
healthy next week when we see you.
All right.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll definitely be healthy next week and 2 weeks from today.
Okay,
all right. Bye, Brian.
Thanks. Wow.
Brian,
everybody.
Apparently went to a bar and dancing last night.
I'm wondering if Brian has outlasted his usefulness on this show.
I mean, he might have. He may have outlasted his usefulness.
I am relieved that he's alive. That's really what it comes down to. But maybe not for long with the way he's acting. So
we just got another Venmo donation. If you're watching, all of the money that we're raising this whole week is going to Black Lives Matter of Greater Burlington. So please donate on our Venmo at Vermont Comedy Club, and all of that will be going to Black Lives Matter of Greater Burlington. Are we ready for another?
You keep asking me if we're ready. I'm always ready.
We're always ready. It's time for another special guest.
Ready and sweaty.
Sam, roll that tape.
I am not from Brooklyn. I moved here like a couple years ago from upstate New York. And when we moved here, it was June, and we were trying to, my friend and I were trying to find a place. And as you know, it's very competitive to find an apartment in Burlington in June. So we were searching forever, and eventually the landlord reached back out to us and was like, hey, we looked at everything, it all looks good. We'd like you to come sign a lease with us. And I was like, awesome, where do you guys want us to do that? And he said, well, we don't know you two very well, so we won't be comfortable signing with you at uncommon grounds. And we're not from Burlington, like I said, so we don't know that uncommon grounds is the name of a coffee shop. So we just thought that our landlord would want us to all be somewhere unfamiliar to everybody in the transaction. And I was like, yeah, we can do that, but it's just we're not from here, so I guess it's wherever you haven't been yet. We'll come meet you there.
Wow. Aren't you so excited? That was a great great clip. Please welcome Tyler Denton.
Ba-dum-bum-ba-dum-bum.
Hey.
Hi.
How are
What's
ya?
up? Good. How are you guys?
Fine.
You know, the same. I think this.
Yeah.
Hey, we're alive.
Yeah.
How are you is a relative and terrible question these days. We just saw you in a silver fanny pack, and it's because I love that bit that you do. And the only one I had on the Vermont Comedy Club archive was when you were wearing a silver fanny pack.
Why was I wearing the fanny pack? Oh, for the fanny pack show. Yeah. When I was throwing out, I threw out like the Goonies DVD.
Yeah.
I remember I threw out that DVD to somebody.
That show was so fun just because we would find whatever random crap was backstage and just give it away like it was the best thing. Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember that. I remember, I remember now. It was the Goonies DVD. It wouldn't fit in my fanny pack, and I came on stage, and I was like, I don't want to hold this anymore. And there was like this like black guy like right up front in the front row, and I was like, here, can you just take this? And he was like, I don't want this, and I was like, I know. It's yours.
I understand you're not the target demographic for this movie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You know what I love? I saw a couple weeks ago that you did a Super Smash Brothers tournament to raise money for Black Lives Matter. Now, this is something that you used to do live that I never went to. I'll just put it out there.
You weren't there. Yeah, you weren't there.
I didn't go. I never went.
So when we brought this up before the show tonight, I said, I don't even know what that is. And she said, don't look it up. Make him tell you what it is.
No, I think we should just like.
So I'm like old enough to not know what that is.
Okay. All right.
What's Super Smash Brothers? What is it?
Okay. I can explain.
I'm all about, like, I'm a white guy right now. I'm asking a lot of questions about things I don't know anything about.
It is my role to educate you
on Super Smash Brothers.
Right. A lot of people have been reaching out to me. Hey, Tyler, I have a question for you. And so I've just been explaining.
And you're like,
I just wanted to check in on your what's your ranking? What was your ranking on that tournament?
Okay, so Super Smash Brothers is a video game made by Nintendo. So Nintendo, the characters they created are the ones you're probably most familiar with, which is like Mario and Zelda.
I know what Nintendo is.
Donkey Kong. Well, I don't know, Nathan. I don't know how old you are. I don't know. Mario.
If you had to guess a range.
I'd say like 18 and 57. I don't know. I don't know your age. Yeah. It's all those like famous video game characters, and it's a fighting game. So you can play as like Pikachu like fighting against Mario, or like it's a lot of that. So people really like the game because people love those characters. So you get to play as those characters against one another. And so we ran a tournament, my brother and I think it was 2 weeks ago today. And my brother and I used to go to the there's a Vermont tournament held at Champlain College every Sunday, and so my brother and I were like frequent flyers there once the game came out on the Nintendo Switch, and so it became like a community we were a part of, and I never thought I would be part of that. Most people that go to those tournaments are like very quiet and introverted, and I don't think they like me, and I'm like so like it ended up like we've made a lot of friends through that community, and cool. So we like kind of I posted in their group like, hey, me and Brian are thinking about running this tournament. We've never ran a tournament, we've never ran an online tournament before. We've never streamed a tournament, but we're gonna do it. So we just asked them if they would be interested in playing. So a lot of the money we raised was from Vermont. I did have like friends who also joined from New York, and I had like some people from my current job in Boston join. But I'd say like 90% of the funds we raised were from Vermont, and it was just like a 6-hour tournament, but we raised like $1,500 almost.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was fun. It was awesome. We didn't ask anyone to give us like a donation. There was no donation minimum. We were just like, and that was kind of on purpose. I was like, I made everyone put their screenshots, their receipt, like in a common chat room, so they could see, like, well, I can't donate $5 now. I have to donate at least 27. Like, so like, we raised a bunch of money that way. It was fun. It was fun. It was stressful. It was extremely stressful to run, but we're probably going to do it again. There's like an institution in Vermont, in Springfield, that reached out to me and asked if we would like help run tournaments and kind of like brand their business alongside running the tournament. They said they sponsor prize money, so looking into
amazing.
That.
What if, I mean, you have like adult jobs, like real adult jobs.
Yeah.
What if this pandemic was the thing that shot you into just producing online Super Smash Brothers tournaments for a career? What if that became your career?
Please. Yeah, of course. That's a no-brainer. Yeah, give me that. If it pays, if I'm making the money, if I can. But yeah, I mean, I've been lucky to like be able to work from home, but I'd rather just play from home and get paid, I guess.
Yeah. You know? The chat is very active. I'm going to reach over Nathan here because
I just want to ask, because I have to ask
specifically for you, the chat is very active.
Okay.
Especially Nick. Nick says you suck at Smash Bros.
Who's Nick? Nick who?
You're being trolled.
You're being trolled. But then David says, tell them about the reverse aerial rush. So I think. So what is the reverse aerial rush?
No, I can't explain it.
I just found out what this was 5 minutes ago.
It's like a super technical like move. Like.
Oh my god. So like so I hate to bring the mood down, but like what is like, you're in Boston, right?
Yeah, well, no.
What's the situation like?
Yes.
Are you home? Where are you?
Well, I was in Vermont. I was in Vermont. So the company I worked for, said it was March 12th. I remember they were like, they were trying to like stay open, I think, just as long as they could, at least keep the office open as long as they could. And then March, like all of our directions come from Paris. And so Paris was like, we have an office in China and Japan, and they had already closed China for like 2 months at that time, and then they saw the U.S. and they probably saw who our president was, and was like, okay, we have to close the office. And so I came here the next day. So I was in Vermont on March 13th. I came back to Boston Saturday, just to get some stuff. But I'll be back tomorrow, and I'm not bringing any, I promise you, at least I hope, I'm not bringing anything with me. I just I've been in my apartment only, and my roommates have been gone. My roommates also left, so we've just been paying for this apartment in Boston for like.
Were you staying in? Are you staying with Bryant in Vermont?
I've been staying with my brother. Yeah. So so I've just been like holed up here. It's actually like crazy. It's like Boston is taking it more serious than Vermont. Just because I think it's because they already had like a bad time with it.
Yeah.
And Vermont hasn't had a bad time with it. So I think it's just like, well, we haven't had a bad time, so we won't. So, but I think Boston is just like, we did, and it could happen again. So like everyone is wearing a mask. I think you get fined if you're not wearing a mask. Even outside, everyone has a mask on here. You can't go inside any buildings without a mask on.
Are there protests and stuff going on too?
I was walking around Harvard Square today, and I saw some people in Harvard Square like with some Black Lives Matters signage, but it wasn't like a full on. It wasn't like the ones that we were seeing 2 weeks ago. No.
Yep. Gotcha.
I also think it's just like, I wonder if that's going to stay as like the Boston colleges all come back into session, because like we have a couple colleges in Burlington, but Boston has like a lot of colleges, and definitely as like students have been moving back into town, like around that June 1st mark, I started seeing a lot more young people not wearing masks and just like walking around downtown Burlington.
Yeah.
And I hope, we hope.
I mean,
but
I've been
everything's
guilty of
opening
it.
up.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, that's what I mean, and that's scary. Like, it's like, dude, it doesn't matter if there's only one case yesterday. Like, I just don't agree with like indoor dining yet, or like going to, or the bar. Like, bars are open in Vermont. That's insane to me. People are like drinking, and they just get.
It'll be real interesting to see if anyone shows up, and if so, who.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Is like, who's at the bar? Like, who's going there? Not anyone I want to kiss. So like, what's up? Who's at the bar? Like, what is that?
What a weird pickup like scenario that is.
Yeah.
So
seriously.
you also aren't taking the pandemic seriously? Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it's just like, oh, those are the people that are going to be like procreating. They're
I know.
Together. People with no sense are procreating. They're meeting in a bar during the pandemic and getting COVID together, and they're
they don't believe in
procreating.
protection.
They're just going to birth like a microbe. Like, it's just going to come out as a coronavirus if those two people mate. It's just they'll just make a new novel coronavirus.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, we got to keep going, but we will probably see you in real life at some point.
I hope. I'll be in Vermont for a while. I don't know when. I honestly don't know when I'll be moving back to Boston, because we're working from home until January. So hope to see you soon.
Okay, bye, Tyler.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have 2 more guests.
I'm thinking maybe we swap them. What do you think of that?
Swap?
Just so that because we're running so far behind.
Why? Don't we always end with the musical guest? Okay. We'll be quick, right?
Sure.
We'll be quick.
Great.
Okay, it's time for a segment we call Alter Ego. Alter Ego. And we are going to be bringing in, we're going to welcome from the Richford, Vermont Parks and Rec Department, Chief Fred Woods. So please help us welcome
let's bring him in.
Fred Woods.
Now I know. Oh, there he is. Hello, Fred. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Great. Now I see in my notes here that you're coming on because Richford, Vermont has a bit of a bear problem. Is that right?
Yeah, there's a bear in the center of town, and it's it's around a lot, and it mauls people. It chews on kids. It kind of does whatever the bear wants to do.
Okay, so now I know that it's your job to figure out what you're going to do about this bear mauling children, and so what have you devised? What's your solution to that?
Well, this year, as always, we're thinking we're going to reform the bear. So we've got a list of ways. I see you looking confused, but we got a list of ways to reform the agitated bear in the center of town. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So number 1, we got to give the bear more money. That's top of mind. The bear needs more resources to stop itself from mauling children, and we think that we have plenty of room in the city arts budget to placate the bear.
So you're going to cut the city arts budget and give that money to the bear so it stops mauling children?
From mauling children?
Exactly, yeah. Well, because we need to encourage the bear to hold itself accountable, you see? And it needs resources to do that. Like, we have faith that the bear is going to do the right thing, all right? So next time the bear knocks an old man over and sends him to the hospital, that bear's going to give itself a punishment.
Okay, well, why do you think that the bear is going to do the right thing? It's happened in the past. This has happened before, and there have been reforms put in place, and bear reform hasn't worked in the past. So why would it work now?
Right. So we're thinking about changing the bear at the heart. All right. So we're going to give the bear sensitivity training. Okay. We're going to take the bear, sit in front of like an old TV, like you would see in a middle school in like the 1980s. And then we will ensure that the bear sits through an hour of training that contradicts the lifetime of violent impulses that it has acquired from being a bear.
And who is doing that training video? Who's the
a group of bears.
Okay.
So
other violent bears are going to be teaching your bear how to not be violent?
Yeah, older, more long in the tooth bears that that have some worldly experience.
It seems like you're consolidating a lot of power in the hands of the bear. Is that too much power for a bear to have?
I understand the power. People are always worried about the power that we as the town give the bear. people are angry that we're using the federal government to funnel military grade weapons to the bear. And I see your shocked face, and I'm going to tell you, we're going to limit the transfer of military grade weapons to the bear. All right. It's not realistic to completely stop that funnel.
Why?
Yeah, why not?
Well, don't worry about it. I think just rest easy knowing that someone is making an unimaginable amount of money from that. Okay? Does that work?
Okay.
I just don't see if bears, when a bear mauls a child or a person in the street,
as it will,
then you said that the bears will regulate that themselves. Like, who's going to be doing that investigation?
Well, see, we're going to give the bears, we're going to attach a camera to the bear that it can also turn off. So
it has the power to shut the camera off if it doesn't want to film something that it's about to do.
Right, and further, if it does happen to catch a mauling on video, it's sort of up to the bear whether or not anyone sees that video.
Okay, so they have the ultimate control over the whole thing. So, do you have any connection to the bear?
Do I? I mean, none other than it kind of funded most of my re-election campaigns. There's generally, I'm afraid of the bear.
Okay.
I step one toe out of line, the bear's gonna come for me and mine. All right, so you gotta understand that. My ass is on the line.
Right.
Okay.
Right, because there's like a powerful like a union of bears that just like controls what you're doing, basically.
Yeah, you could describe it as that. I think it's more of a gang of bears. Have you seen the movie The Warriors?
No.
Oh, this bear came at me with some bottles on his hand, and when warriors come out and play to me, it's a gang. I don't like these bears.
Okay.
That's fascinating. I mean, it's an interesting way to deal with a crisis. Is there anything else that we missed that you want to tell us about how you're dealing with this crisis?
Yeah, I'll just do just one more thing. I think people are very concerned about the bear using aggressive techniques while it is mauling a person.
Sure.
So what we're going to do is discourage the bear from using those controversial mauling techniques. Okay. So look, we don't like to admit this, but deep down we do believe a vast segment of our citizens inherently deserve to get mauled by a bear.
Okay.
Whoa,
that's
very problematic.
Well, without the threat of maulings, the people in Richford could realize they have a lot of power. So we're going to meet everyone in the middle. We're going to compromise and ban the violent methods of mauling. And from here on out, the bear will only maul people in ways taught to him by that private contractor bear group that we mentioned earlier.
Doesn't seem like meeting in the middle.
Wow.
Great.
I think people should definitely look into this because it doesn't seem like it's being handled in the appropriate way.
But
and also, are you working right now and drinking on the job?
No, it's 8 p.m. I live in this office. My wife won't talk.
It's interesting that the sun is still out where you are. It's
by the equator.
It's been great talking to you, and Fred, I really appreciate you coming on. And good luck with your bear crisis.
Thank you, Nathan and Natalie.
Okay, bye, Fred.
Now. Be safe.
Wow, Fred Woods.
I don't know about that.
Man, it really seems like that doesn't make any sense at all.
Weird way to handle something that's so aggressive and targeted toward.
Wow. And definitely that was all about bears.
Sure was. Let's move on.
We have one final guest.
Before we do our final guests, we're gonna play one more of Charles McBee's sketches. That he's so funny. We have another 1 minute clip we're gonna play of him to let you laugh at that. We're gonna be right back with our musical guests.
Roll it.
Hey, are you a white person who desperately wants to be an ally to the black community, but you're afraid of asking black people questions for fear of sounding ignorant, or even worse, getting cursed the fuck out? No worries. Just call 1-800-MY-BLACK-FRIEND.
Where do I get information on how to be a good ally to the black community?
Google that shit. Let Google be your ally. If you can Google how to do the latest TikTok dance, you can Google how to be an ally to black people.
Yo, man, is Black Twitter a real thing? And if so, am I allowed to join?
Yes, Black Twitter is real. But in order for white people to be considered, you have to have a thorough white privilege background check and have watched the 5 Heartbeats in its entirety at least 5 times.
What if I'm a person who doesn't see color?
Then that means you are colorblind, which means you can't tell the difference between red and green. But you can see the difference between black and white. Don't say that shit no more.
Well, isn't it all lives matter?
Get the fuck off my line. Next. Call me now and get your question answered today.
God is good all the time. And all the time, God is good. Bang, 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 bang. Free Bobby Shmurda, Wu-Tang Forever.
Oh, they're here. Hi.
Yay! Our musical guest is here. Hi.
Folks.
Oh my gosh, they're muted. Nathan, will you?
Yes.
There we
Hello.
go.
Can you see us? Can you hear us?
Yes. Oh, yay, there it is. Hello.
Hi, friends.
Welcome to our show. Sorry, we're so behind
we're
schedule
running late.
tonight.
Turn on my light, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Turning on some
I
light.
can hear you.
We're looking a little dark here.
There we go.
Started.
We're so happy to see you.
It's been forever, obviously.
I know. Before you do your song, and we will have you do your song, I was hoping you would talk to people a little bit about Project Serenade, because I saw a piece about it and I thought it was so cool what you're doing. Would you be willing to tell people a little bit about what that is?
Sure. Well, so I run the Vermont Youth Opera Workshop, and obviously our performances were canceled, and so we had a little Zoom meeting and we all decided to shift and visiting retirement homes and elder communities and giving serenades.
Amazing. And is that something that like if someone were watching from a nursing home or an elder care facility, how do people reach out to you and say like, oh, would you come and see us?
So the Opera Workshop has a Facebook page, and also they could just go to the website, sarahcox.com, send me a little message. I've already had people reach out to me that way. Some facilities in Rutland and all over the place are reaching out and hoping that we can come, or we may go up to Craftsbury. So it's going to be a summer of touring Vermont and bringing some music to seniors who've been really isolated way more than all of us have. So.
Amazing.
That's great. That's so great that you're still able to do some form of performance when so many people are not able to do any performance, and when there are so many
people are so desperate for it too. Like,
yeah, that's so
great. The arts are what get us through stuff like this.
Yeah.
Right. And also, these are high school kids, and they're visiting people who are their grandparents' age. And there's also that generational divide, like a lot of people haven't been able to visit their grandparents because they're in these kind of homes, and grandparents haven't been able to see their grandkids. So these may not be their grandparents, but there's still that kind of connection to generations, which I think is really, important.
Right. Cool. Well, we would love to chat all night, but we're running a little on the long side here, and I would love to know what is it you're gonna do for us musically tonight.
It's called Madrugada by Ernesto Cordero. He's a very well known composer in Puerto Rico, a guitarist, and we chose this because you asked for something wasn't too sad or depressing, but a lot of our pieces are kind of really inappropriate and having to do with brothels and things like that. So this piece is kind of a cool piece for quarantine because it says that the morning star is rising like a diamond brooch in the hair of the palm tree, and that's where my soul is flying out to see if I can find you in the emptiness. And if you were also looking out from where you are, far away from me, and you were looking at that same morning star, then our thoughts would meet and they would be kissing.
Oh, it's like Fievel.
Fievel?
That she knows what I'm talking about. Snow, Fievel, the American Story.
I think it was based on
somewhere out there. It's about
Okay,
somewhere out there. That's a reference.
Come on.
Well, we're a little punchy. This is a long night. We're gonna turn our camera off so people can enjoy your performance, and then we'll come back after your song.
I'm gonna try to get far away because I don't want to saturate the
All right, have fun. Thank you.
Ya está el lucero del alma encendido del palmar, orquídea de cristal en el moño de una palma. Hacia el buen a mi alma, buscándote en el vacío, sí, también de tu oído, pues allí está mirando. Ahora cesaré al besar tu pensamiento y el mío.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank you. That was so nice.
You're very welcome. Yeah.
So good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you
Thanks
too.
for inviting.
Don't you have a son who might be sleeping right now?
No, he's playing video games.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, good.
okay. You're
Good.
not waking him up. Well, it's lovely to see you. I hope we can hang out a little more in the future. And thanks for doing this. It was so nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you
Good
for
to see
inviting us.
guys.
All right. Bye,
Bye. Oh, that sarahcollins.com.
Yes.
And Danielle.
They are both
So
lovely people.
amazing.
You can. I don't know how to say the name of their group. Is it Ocho Cuerdas? Is that how you say it? But it is. They play all over the place, or used to. First
but
Night and all these
now-
great places.
Project Serenade. It's so cool. I
yeah.
think the piece was in 7 days that I think that's where I read about it. But anyway, that's our show, folks. We have been raising money tonight for Black Lives Matter of Greater Burlington, and we are still taking donations through the rest of the weekend. We are up to, with our $1,000 match, we are up to, well, it was $2,300 at the beginning of the night, and now we are more than that.
Should we do one?
Without doing the math, I'm gonna go ahead and just say maybe like 2,500. I think we're about there. We need another like 5 to go.
People are still watching, but they've gone dormant in the chat. But thank you for playing along with us tonight and telling us what you're up to and participating and donating. We really appreciate you being here with us.
Thanks for tuning in.
Sweaty Friday.
Every Friday, and we will we'll see you next week. There's a fun show tomorrow night too. A lot of people put on. They made shorts, video shorts. So check that out. A bunch of Vermonters made some original video content. That's tomorrow night. But that's it for us. We're gonna go to bed. Good night.